if people are unavailable to meet you at an opportunity for you to reclaim your joy in whether it's traveling or whether it's going to a particular event or doing something that you always want to do, whether it's even play tennis, right? I've been learning and I would love for all of us to come into agreement of, you know what? Let me plan it for myself then. I'm enough. Hey, beautiful people, it's Tochi. I'm a speaker of life, and welcome to Snatching Our Crowns, a curated space dedicated to women all over the world to snatch our lives back and become the healthiest and fullest versions of ourselves together. Okay? And in today's video, we are kicking off our Dear Black Women series, and if you tuned into our video earlier this week, it was talking about why motivational and life-giving content is very necessary for Black women and women of color. And it just spoke on this channel, spoke on this platform, this space, and why it's so important with us being very underrepresented in a lot of the spaces we walk into, whether it's from a higher educational standpoint, professional, corporate, neighborhood, environmentally. There's so many different times and stages in our lives where we unfortunately have to be underrepresented, have to deal with what comes with that, the invisible barriers, the microaggressions, the list goes on. And it's very important that you allow yourself to have spaces like this one where you can be poured into, where your heart can be tended to, so that you can go back and navigate the world and your experiences with a renewed sense of power, of you taking the reins back on your life in every area. In this video, we're just going to talk about, dear Black woman, it's time for you to start living again. Here's how to reclaim your joy. I want to talk to you guys about how 2025 has been so far for me, and even what happened at the end of 2024 that brought me towards wanting to film this video. So, as we wrapped up the end of 2024 in December, I found myself personally going through various challenges, dealing with the loss of a loved one and health challenges. And the weight of life really just started to cave in for me as we moved into 2025. It didn't even feel like me stepping into a new year. It felt like me stumbling in. It felt like me spiritually limping into the new year because of how heavy 2024 was. And I don't know if you are someone who can relate of, you know what, I stepped into 2024 really excited. I moved along toward my goals, made milestones and achievements in the direction of my life. And then life just started to hit. I gone through grief. I gone through heartbreak. I gone through just very weighty matters in your life, to where you now move into this new year, 2025. We're still in the beginning of it. And you still feel heavy, you still feel the weight of 2024. Yes, it's a new year and you're trying to put on a brave face, but you know that deep down your heart is still heavy from the events that even transpired before this year, or even this year alone. Life started lifing. The life just started lifing in January or even early February, and you're over here like, when can I breathe? When can I actually have time to just be and not have to deal with life being so hard? Can I just have time where I can be? And this is a video that talks just about that. I want you to understand that yes, there are these external factors beyond our control and we didn't ask for, like God. But at the end of the day, we trust His will. And we just trust the way He's allowing us to move through this life. And with that, I want us to discuss that, dear Black woman, it's time for you to start living again. It is time for you to reclaim your joy, to live a life that gives you life in the face of adversity, even with life lifing, even with you adulting. It's time for you to still, in spite of the circumstances, start living again. And you may wonder, what does that mean? What does that even look like? And of course, that is subject to each person and our unique interests and passions. So I'm happy to discuss what mine are. And I feel like they may resonate with you as well. Of it being like my four pillars that are Snatching Our Crown, this brand's pillars of faith, fashion, fitness, and of course, travel. I hope that even one of these pillars are something that you find a passion in, because that's what we're going to trickle throughout the content with. And I hope that it helps you with discovering ways to find a sense of joy in your life with your various interests and passions. As Black women, we have been conditioned by society, by culture, to put others' needs before our own. It wasn't an option. It didn't even feel like it was an option. It felt like a, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you allow people to let you be a rug, let you be a walking mat, or have you pull their weights, have you sacrifice yourself for their comfort, for their convenience? It was almost as if we were just conditioned and shaped to come into agreement with that line of thinking, when that is not why God created women. God did not create women to be a walking mat. God did create women to be a helpmate, right? And He created women also to be able to fully live out the life that God has designed them to, in their authority, in their power, in their grace, in their beauty, in their glory. And He didn't call us to just be a, if you will, like a slave for other people. He didn't call us to sacrifice ourselves for other people's comfort. He didn't call us to live in that regard. Yes, we do have responsibilities. Yes, we are blessed and graced to be able to be of service toward our loved ones, whether you're married, whether you are a daughter of a mother, a sister, a friend. It's important for us to unlearn the false mindset that we were created to put others before ourselves and never cater toward our own cups, because the order of sequence of love is allowing us to love God, be loved by God first and foremost, love ourselves, and then love other people. That is the hierarchy. That is the order in which we love, because that is what keeps the cycle going. If we allow us to be loved by God and love God and then focus on other people, then it would be at the jeopardy of our own souls, at the jeopardy of our own mental, emotional, spiritual well beings, physical well beings. And that is not the way God designed it. He wants us to pour into our own cups, allow us to be refueled in order to effectively and efficiently serve others in a way that He has called us to, in a way that we are privileged and honored to do. So, in order to do this, let's talk about reclaiming our joy and what that looks like. I remember for me, for a long time, I used to wait for other people to give me that chance to experience joy. Now, when I say joy, in this case, I mean moments, right? Carving out moments in your life where you come alive. I would wait for the invitation to travel with someone, or travel with a group of people, or to go here or do this. I used to wait for permission before I would go see a musical that I've always wanted to see, or go to a particular play or concert, or go to a certain restaurant. I would wait for other people to initiate that invitation before I would give myself that opportunity to indulge or be fueled in that experience. And it wasn't until it finally clicked on me after I was planning a birthday trip a couple years ago. I was planning a birthday trip and I wanted to go to Hawaii. I wanted to go to Hawaii and I extended an invitation to a number of people. And it was just, I think it was timing. Maybe it was just different factors where pretty much no one out of the number of people I invited, not a single person was able to go to Hawaii with me for my birthday. And it wasn't until that moment where I understood that life is life. And if people are unavailable to meet you at an opportunity for you to reclaim your joy in whether it's traveling or whether it's going to a particular event or doing something that you always want to do, whether it's even play tennis, right? I've been learning and I would love for all of us to come into agreement of, you know what? Let me plan it for myself then. I'm enough. I'm enough to travel to a place I've never been to that's, of course, safe and you navigate in a very wise way, but you deserve it. And you are more than capable of enjoying that experience in your own company. And you're not doing it by yourself, right? Like, if you have a relationship with Christ, then he's accompanying you. Like, I have began years ago to love doing things by myself, quote unquote, because I'm doing it with Jesus. Like, I'm spending time with him in a way that disconnects me from my day-to-day responsibilities. And so following the inability for me to go to Hawaii with the group of people I wanted to go to, I was like, you know what? Let me do a staycation. And so I decided to go for a staycation near my area, but it still felt like a treat. It still felt like a time for me to disconnect, going back to these thematic words of disconnecting and unplugging and being able to give yourself time to be, to exist, to reset, to savor new foods, new experiences. I remember I booked the spa treatment and I just, yes, it's something we talk about of having that luxurious experience of whether it's booking a staycation or whatever have you, but it can also be incorporated in your routine in a way that's more frugal, right? What are things that can allow you to pour into your joy that is not expensive? And another one of that can be going outside and going for walks. It can sound so basic, but you wouldn't even believe the way that you can come alive outdoors if that is something that is what interests you. I know it does for me. Love, I mean, even in the winter, even in the brick cold weather, I will bundle up and I will go for a walk in the morning and allow myself to just see the sunrise and worship God, listen to life giving content, maybe listen to the Bible audibly, and just give myself time to unplug from my responsibilities, give myself time to reset and prepare for the demands of the day as it arises by first pouring into me in a way that uniquely I find excitement in. And so I encourage you to ask yourself, what are things or activities or interests that you can embed into your routine, whether it's a weekly routine, monthly, yearly, that can pour into you, that you can look forward to doing in 2025 with or without the company of other people. Maybe even both, right? Planning and etching out experiences that you are looking forward to this year that you're going to do in your own company, AKA like your own company slash the company of Christ, because we're not ever actually alone. And also etching out experiences and plans with your loved ones. So I think it's something incredibly empowering and liberating to craft your life and plan it out to such a way where you can pick out and break out activities in areas of your life that you find so much joy in, and allowing yourself to schedule that into your routine, whether it's, like I said, walking in the mornings, or whether it's journaling, or whether it's working out at the gym, or going to a thrift store and thrifting like I do and love to do. Thinking through what are activities where you can foster your joy and come alive in doing that is not costly, or things that are costly that you're going to save up for because you're worth it. And enjoying life on your own terms is worth saving and investing in. So I'm curious in the comments, what are activities below that you do, that you plan to do, or you want to do this year that will bring you joy, that will make you come alive in such a way that as you navigate your day to day responsibilities, you're already thinking ahead like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to go to that concert. I cannot wait for that staycation. I'm so looking forward to traveling to that country. What are things that you look forward to doing that you can put in your calendar as a way that you are pouring into yourself, carving out time in your schedule where you're pouring into you, so that when you give to others, you're not giving from an empty cup, not just the empty cup, but sometimes that cup be dry, not a single drop of water. You are pouring into a cup spilling, matter of fact, overflowing with water for other people. So I encourage you to think through that as we move through the beginning of 2025, and just put in your calendar, because y'all, the way adulting is set up, we got to pull out the calendar and just stick it in, because if we don't, is it going to happen? Exactly. So let's make sure we write it down, book that whatever, book that event, book that restaurant reservation, book that tennis club lesson, whatever it is that you have always been wanting to do. It's time that you start living life again in spite of your circumstances. Yes, there are certain things that you can or cannot do in your circumstances. So, whatever you can do, allow yourself to do, and be grateful and relish that experience, because God has not just called us to just keep our heads down and just trek along our day to day, but He's called us to really live. He died on the cross to give us abundant life. And I want you to give yourself permission to step into a life that gives you life, whatever that looks like in 2025. I'm curious, drop down in the comments below, what are things that you're planning to block off for the year? It could literally be your workout routine, a time for you to pour into yourself. It could literally be you booking a certain time to go to the library and just opening a book and reading without scrolling on social media, just having that time with you in a physical book and just immersing yourself in the world of the book that you're reading. It could be that simple. It's not every time fly to Aruba. Now, that is great, but I'm saying it doesn't have to be limited to that. It can be your weekly simplistic activities that can be done with such an excited and life-giving lens, and it can also be you traveling, booking trips and traveling and seeing the world and the beauty of it that God has took his time into his thing with. Okay, I want us to keep this conversation going of, dear Black woman, this being a love letter to you, having you reimagine yourself, who you are, your worth, and also the life that you get to curate on your own terms. So I hope that this video is helpful to you in any way. And make sure you're following us on our Instagram page. We got carousels, reels, and all the different fun things out already and on the way. So make sure you're tuned in and engaged that way. Feel free to DM me, sis. This space is for you, for your heart, for your soul to prosper as your life prospers. So I'm just here for you. Okay. I hope this encourages you in any way. And make sure you thumbs up, drop down some engagement in the comments, and I'll see you beautiful people in our next video. Bye.